I'm probably the last one to do this tag, but hey, here's my answers to the mid-year Freakout book tag, mid-year Freakout book tag. Whatever it's called, here goes. Hey everyone, it is the mid-year Freakout book tag, and I'm probably the last one to do this. This makes its rounds every year. I did this last year, really enjoyed it. This is one of those tags, it's pretty universal, so nobody tags anybody on this one, but Al over at Big Al Does BookTube tagged me on a different tag video, so Al, I'm going to do this one instead, and Al did this tag too, so I'm going to put his video down here just so it looks like somebody actually tagged me on this one. But go check out Al's channel. He's kind of the master of the very concise book review and is reading a lot of great books over there. A lot of variety, much like my channel as well. But here goes. I like these prompts, and that's why I wanted to do this tag. I wasn't going to do this. It wasn't on the plan, but as I kept watching everybody else do it, I wanted to do it too. So first question, best book I've read so far in 2023. If you saw my book reviews, you noticed that I read some really great ones this year, but number one is still Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. Lonesome Dove is just a masterpiece of a book. Some of the most memorable characters I've read, an epic journey. It's one of those books that is hyped for a reason. It's just fantastic. Number two, best sequel I've read so far in 2023. This may come as a surprise from some of you since I DNF'd the Malazan Book of the Fallen, but Dead House Gates is my best sequel of the year. I love that book. I thought that book was fantastic. In fact, it's the memories of that book that make me believe that maybe I will pick up Memories of Ice at some point, because I did love Dead House Gates quite a bit. So that's my best sequel of the year. New release I haven't read yet. So I have a few of these, but I'm going to say The Ferryman by Justin Cronin is probably the one that I want to read most that I haven't gotten to yet. This was released in May. Cronin is one of those auto-buy authors for me. He's written 5 books. This is his 6th book, and I think I give all of them 5 stars or at least 4 stars. He's a master, one of my favorites, and this sounds like something it's pretty great. So The Ferryman by Justin Cronin is the newest release I haven't read yet. Number 4, most anticipated release for the second half of the year. That is undoubtedly The Armor of Light by Ken Follett, which is the latest installment in the Kingsbridge series, which is Pillars of the Earth, the 2 sequels and the 1 prequel. I think this is another sequel, and from what I understand is this is going to kind of link into his Century trilogy. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I gathered from something that I read. But even if it's just about Kingsbridge, Follett is remarkable. He takes an 800 to 1,000 page story, makes it fast paced. Because he kind of cut his teeth as a thriller writer, he's so good at just plotting and pacing. So that's definitely my most anticipated book of the second half of the year. Number 5, biggest disappointment. Easily The King Beyond the Gate by David Gemmell. I loved Legend, which is the first Gemmell book that I read, and then the second one that he put out, turns out the publisher wanted more of the first book, and it was just kind of one of those uninspired sequels that was just a bit of a disappointment. I'll continue to read Gemmell. I have Waylander on the shelf over there, so I'll get back to Gemmell at some point here, but that was definitely my biggest disappointment of the year. Number 6, biggest surprise was Legend, and it wasn't that I liked it, it was just that I loved it so much. I loved Legend so much that upon finishing it, I went to Wikipedia and I looked at the list of everything Gemmell wrote, and I put all of those into my TBR spreadsheet. On the strength of one book, I love that book so much that I want to read everything Gemmell wrote. And even my biggest disappointment from a minute ago doesn't dampen my enthusiasm for that. Number 7, favorite new author, debut, or new to you. Easily Robert McCammon. I've read 2 books by McCammon this year, Swan Song and Boy's Life, and my goodness, both of those are easy 5-star reads. Contenders with Lonesome Dove for my book of the year. McCammon is fantastic. I kind of raved about him in my book reviews from a few days ago, and I will definitely be reading more of him. Number 8, newest fictional crush. this is such a weird question. I thought about this one, and the only one that I came up with was Mei Mei from Taipan. I loved her dynamic with Dirk. She was kind of such a foil for him, and he kind of didn't want to be in love with her, but he was. So I kind of liked her, and I kind of liked her spirit, but that's just a weird question. Number 9, newest favorite character. I have to go with a tie here, and I have to go with both Gus and Call from Lonesome Dove. 2 just memorable characters. I mean, if I had to pick one, I guess I'd pick Gus, but I love both of them. They're so unique. They're so finely drawn. Fantastic characters. Number 10, book that made me cry. Surprisingly, Stoner by John Williams. And I say surprisingly because it's one of those books that sneaks up on you and you don't realize how connected you are until you're a blubbering mess at the end. I got to the end and I felt like this weight was crushing my heart. Such a powerful book. Right up there with Lonesome Dove and Swan Song and Boy's Life for Book of the Year. Number 11, book that made me happy. Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames. Man, that was a fun book. Laugh out loud at times. I love the pop culture references. Just a book that I think when I reviewed it, I said what it did is it took a really good idea and just executed the hell out of it. And the idea was contrasting a war band in a fantasy setting to like a 70s hair band. And this is about the band getting back together. And it's just a home run of a fun book. Number 12, favorite book to film adaptation I've seen this year. Not film, but miniseries. I watched the Lonesome Dove miniseries after watching it. Casting was perfect. Robert Duvall as Gus McCrae. My goodness. I mean, absolute picture perfect casting. Number 13, favorite video I've done so far this year. That's a tough one. I mean, I enjoy any of the time I can rave. So anytime I can gush about things I love. So I'd say my top 10 lists, my authors, series, historical fiction top 10 lists. But actually the one I like the most, I think that I've done this year was my Brunch and Book Talk episode 3. The live episode that I had with Philip Chase and Tori and P.L. Stewart, where we just talked about authors and their craft, me being the only non-author of the group. And I loved the insights from those 3 individuals. I loved how, if you haven't seen it, how respectful everybody was at giving each other time to talk. That's the only flaw I ever see with a lot of these collaborative live videos, is that sometimes we tend to talk on top of each other. And I'm as guilty as anyone of that. And I felt that all the panelists gave each other space to really talk about their ideas. And as someone who loves hearing artists talk about their crafts, that 2-hour-ish discussion was very special to me. So go check that one out. It's long, so put it in the background as you're doing something, but I really enjoyed that episode of Brunch and Book Talk. Number 14, most beautiful book I bought this year. That would be Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. These special editions, premium hardcovers, I think as he called them, are truly fantastic for the price. I mean, absolutely gorgeous books. So that's definitely the most beautiful one I got this year. What books do I need to read the rest of the year? Hey, I did a video on that. Go check it out. It was kind of my progress report of my TBR 2023. Some highlights of that. I need to read GGK. That's going to happen soon. I need to read Janie Wirtz. That just started. Mark Lawrence is on the list. The Ferryman's on the list. There's a few other things. So just go check out that video. I'll link it up here. So, hey, if you watch this, for the 30th time, because everyone's in this video, thanks for sticking around. If you are not a booktuber and you want to answer these questions, put those below. I'd love to see what your answers are. And if you are a booktuber and you've done this and I haven't seen yours, just say, hey, check out mine. We had these questions in common or whatever. I've seen a lot of them, but there's so many of them I'd like to get caught up at some point, because I do think it is a fun tag. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. You can also find me on Twitter and Goodreads. I'd love to interact with you there. As always, thank you for watching. Until next time, goodbye.